A wealthy Utah family that amassed its fortune in the oil industry now faces serious criminal charges for allegedly conspiring with Mexican drug cartels.
America, we just uncovered one of the most shocking cartel operations in U.S. history. A wealthy oil tycoon and his entire family have been arrested for running a $300 million smuggling operation with the Mexican drug cartel. James Jensen, worth millions, was literally paying the cartel directly while using his legitimate oil business as a front to smuggle nearly 3,000 shipments of stolen crude oil from Mexico. But here's the kicker. When the U.S. Marshals showed up to his $9 million mansion to arrest him, the couple refused to come out, and agents had to use battering rams to break down the door.
Wealthy Utah couple arrested in a multi-state raid with U.S. Marshals. The couple is accused of money laundering and smuggling oil into the U.S. from Mexican cartels valued at over $300 million.
What is up, guys? Tyson Dela Cruz here. Thank you so much for rocking with me. This story has a little bit of everything. Millionaire oil executives, Mexican drug cartels, massive money laundering, and a family business that was literally funding criminal organizations. This is what happens when American businessmen get into bed with the cartel. Let me break down what happened a few Wednesdays ago in Sandy, Utah. That's right, Sandy, Utah. U.S. Marshals showed up at James and Kelly Jensen's $9.1 million, 26,000 square foot mansion to arrest them on federal charges. But here's where it gets interesting. The couple refused to let the Marshals in.
According to our KSL tipster, the arrest happened Wednesday here at their $9 million, 26,000 square foot mansion in Sandy. In documents from the U.S. District Court in Texas, the couple wouldn't let Marshals in. The tipster telling KSL, Marshals then showed up with a battering ram.
Think about this for a second. You're worth millions and millions of dollars, and you live in a mansion. You present yourself as an upstanding citizen, but when federal agents show up with arrest warrants, you barricade yourself inside like a common criminal. That tells you everything you need to know about their guilt. The same day that they were arrested in Utah, federal agents were conducting a massive raid on their company, Arroyo Terminals in Texas. This was a coordinated multi-state operation targeting what prosecutors are calling one of the largest oiling smuggling operations in U.S. history.
DHS raided the home of James and Kelly Jensen, kicked down their door, and arrested them at their $9.1 million mansion in Sandy, Utah. The couple is accused of smuggling about $300 million in illegal oil from Mexico, involving nearly 2,900 shipments between May of 2022 and 2025 in collaboration with the Mexican drug cartels.
James Jensen, 68 years old, is being called the mastermind of the operation. His wife, Kellyanne, and his two sons, Maxwell and Zachary, were all arrested on federal charges, including money laundering, smuggling, and conspiracy. This wasn't just one person going rogue. This was a family criminal enterprise. You know what, guys? Speaking of people who deserve honest treatment and protection from scammers, our seniors. While we're watching millionaire families partner with drug cartels to steal $300 million, there are millions of seniors out there getting completely ripped off by dishonest Medicare salespeople and confusing insurance plans that are designed to confuse them. And here's the thing, just like the Jensen family preyed on people's trust with their fake oil business, the Medicare industry is full of predators who prey on seniors' confusion about their healthcare options. They use high-pressure sales tactics, they hide important details in fine print, and they get paid massive commissions to push plans that aren't right for you. That's exactly why I'm proud to partner with Chapter. They're completely opposite of these cartel criminals. Chapter is the only Medicare advisor that actually puts seniors first. No commission-driven sales tactics, no pushy phone calls at dinner time, no fake urgency to sign up today. Just honest, straightforward guidance from licensed experts who actually care about finding you the right plan. Here's how Chapter is different. First, they're completely free. No hidden fees, no surprise charges, no cartel level corruption. Second, their advisors aren't paid commissions, so they have zero incentive to push expensive plans that you don't need. And third, they take the time to actually understand your specific health needs, your budget, and your doctors before making any recommendations. If you're 65 or approaching Medicare eligibility, or if your parent or grandparents are trying to navigate this deliberately confusing system, Chapter makes it simple. They'll walk you through every option: Medicare Advantage, Medigap, Part D drug plans, and explain what actually matters in your specific situation. No corporate jargon, no sales pressure, just real help from real people. And unlike the Jensen family who spent 3 years lying to federal agents, Chapter is completely transparent. They'll show you exactly what each plan covers, what it costs, and help you avoid common traps that cost seniors thousands of dollars each year. Look, when it comes to healthcare and your money, you want people you can actually trust, not criminals like the Jensen family, and not commission-hungry insurance salespeople who see you as a paycheck. Check them out at askchapter.org/Tyson. That's askchapter.org/Tyson, or give them a call at 270-467-0614. 5 minutes with Chapter's trusted advisors will save you years of overpaying the wrong Medicare plan. Let me show you exactly how this $300 million cartel operation worked, because the details are going to blow your mind. Between May 2022 and April 2025, the Jensen family smuggled 2,881 shipments of stolen crude oil from Mexico into the United States. We're talking about nearly 3,000 separate criminal acts over 3 years. This wasn't just any crude oil. This was oil that was stolen by Mexican drug cartels from PEMEX, Mexico's national oil company. The Jensens were literally buying stolen goods from criminal organizations and selling them in the United States market.
The couple owns Arroyo Terminals in Rio Hondo, Texas, which was also raided. The company operated its own fleet of 30,000 barrel barges and had storage tanks near Arroyo, Colorado, according to information posted on its website. Investigators found that the oil transported was not genuine crude oil, but rather residues of lubricating oils and petroleum distillates, camouflaged with false customs documentation to cross the border.
The Jensens used their legitimate business, Arroyo Terminals, as their perfect cover. They operated their own fleet of 30,000 barrel barges and had massive storage tank units. To customs officials, it looked like a normal oil import business. But in reality, they were falsely labeling stolen crude oil as waste lube oil and petroleum distillants to get it across the border. According to the indictment, James Jensen paid over $47 million directly to Mexican criminal organizations. Think about that, $47 million in direct payments to drug cartels. That wasn't some accidental business relationship. This was a deliberate partnership with criminal organizations.
The indictment reveals James and Kelly and 2 of his sons, Max and Zachary, conspired to launder proceeds from sales of illegally imported crude oil. The payments for this crude oil were directed to businesses in Mexico that operate only through the permission of Mexican criminal organization, and that James Jensen was aware that the payments he made were going to these Mexican criminal organizations.
What makes this case particularly disturbing is that this was a family affair. James Jensen didn't just corrupt himself. He brought his wife and both of his sons into the criminal enterprise. Maxwell Jensen, one of the sons, was actually held without bond because he co-owns the business and travels frequently to the Bahamas. The judge considered him a flight risk, which tells you how serious these charges are. Zachary Jensen, the other son, was released with a $100,000 bond with GPS monitoring. He handled marketing and business development for the company, so he was deeply involved in day-to-day operations. But here's what's really rich. The defense is trying to portray this family as upstanding citizens who are active in church and community. Kelly Jensen's father worked for the Reagan administration, and her mother served in the Utah State Senate. They're trying to use their political connections and community standings to minimize their crimes.
Officials say that part of the illegal operation included the use of companies and bank accounts in both the United States and Mexico to hide the origin of the funds. Payments for the oil were sent to entities in Mexico under the control of criminal organizations, aka Mexican drug cartels. And according to the indictment, James Jensen was fully aware of this.
But being connected doesn't excuse your criminal behavior. In fact, it makes it worse. These people had every advantage in life: wealth, political connection, legitimate business opportunities, and they chose to partner with Mexican drug cartels instead. The scope of this money laundering operation is absolutely staggering. The federal government has ordered the forfeit of $300 million in assets, including the entire company, multiple homes, oil tankers, and luxury cars. This wasn't just about oil smuggling. This was about creating an entire financial infrastructure that laundered cartel money. They used companies and bank accounts with both the United States and Mexico to hide the origins of the funds. The indictment makes it crystal clear that James Jensen knew exactly who he was paying. These weren't legitimate Mexican businesses. These were entities controlled by criminal organizations, and Jensen was fully aware of that fact. Think about the audacity here. This family was living in a $9 million mansion, driving luxury cars, presenting themselves as a pillar of the community, all while funneling millions of dollars to Mexican drug cartels. The fact that this operation ran undetected for 3 years raises some serious questions about border security and business oversight. How many other legitimate businesses are actually fronts for cartel operations? And here's something that should concern every American. This family had a previous brush with a similar accusation in 2011. James Jensen was accused of similar crimes back then, but the case was dropped in 2013 after 2 years of litigation. Did he think he could get away with it again? The timing is also interesting. This arrest comes as the Trump administration is ramping up pressure on cartels that designated them as terrorist organizations. The message is clear. If you're an American citizen partnering with cartels, you're going to face the full force of federal law enforcement. America, this case proves that cartel corruption reaches into the highest levels of American society. We're talking about millionaire businessmen with political connections who chose to partner with criminal organizations. The Jensen family faces decades in federal prison and the loss of everything they built through the criminal enterprise. James Jensen alone faces up to 20 years in prison and $500,000 in fines on each count. But this case is about more than just one family. It's about the broader infiltration of American businesses by the Mexican cartel. It's about how criminal organizations use legitimate companies to launder money and fund their operations. The fact that the U.S. Marshal had to use a battering ram to arrest these people tells you everything you need to know about their character. When you're living in a mansion built on cartel money, you know you're guilty. This is exactly why we need strong border enforcement and aggressive prosecution of anyone who partners with criminal organizations. Whether you're a street dealer or a millionaire oil executive, if you're working with cartels, you're gonna face the laws of justice. I'll keep you updated as this case develops through court. And remember, this is what happens when American businessmen think they can get rich by partnering with Mexican drug cartels and they end up in federal prison. Let me know what you guys think about this. Drop it down in the comment section down below. Smash the like button if you kindly would. Share, subscribe, and as always, guys, I'll catch you on the next one.